The first time I saw Rogue One was the day I graduated from university. I studied a design degree and I majored in film. It was a very big day and I was worried that I wouldn't make it through the film's midnight screening because I'd be too tired, but I drank an energy drink. And also some kid tried to mug me, so I was full of adrenaline from that, so I guess thanks, kid? I guess? If that isn't the most glass half full outlook I've ever had before in my life, then I don't know what is. Rogue One is Disney's first standalone Star Wars movie, and as such I would imagine that a lot would have been riding on this in terms of where Disney decided to take the Star Wars property and what they intend to do with the franchise. The success or failure of this film would have guided this, but the resulting film was hugely enjoyable. It sits right up there next to A New Hope. It's about the rebels who actually steal the Death Star plans which allow them to destroy the Death Star in Episode 4. Admittedly, going in I was somewhat apprehensive about the choice of Gareth Edwards as director because I saw Godzilla and I hated Godzilla, but when there were stories coming out about them shooting in a train station after everyone had gone home, and all of the behind the scenes reels showed Gareth with the camera in his hand running around, actually shooting the film himself, that gave me a lot of hope because that's to me how a Star Wars film should be made. And you could tell that Gareth Edwards was just incredibly passionate about the property, and it really shows in the results that he got. The cast was superb and the chemistry with each other was fantastic. I kind of wish there were more scenes with Jyn and her father. Don't get me wrong, there were enough and there were the right amount for the narrative, but their chemistry was just so good that I would have loved to have seen more of it. And Mads Mikkelsen has always played the part super well. The score was really interesting. It wasn't John Williams and it wasn't overly derivative of John Williams, but the composer was able to add his own flair to it and bring kind of like a new musical identity to the Star Wars universe as well. This is especially apparent in the first scene. There's a score which kind of sounds like it's inspired by Ennio Morricone, which is not something that I really knew that I wanted, but when I heard it I was like, this is one of the coolest things, and I left thinking about that opening scene which feels like a Western standoff in a Star Wars movie, which is incredibly cool. This next part's going to be a spoiler if you care about spoilers if you haven't seen the movie, but there are CG recreations of characters from the original movies. And I just want to say that I understand why people feel that the CG characters were too uncanny valley for them, but I really appreciated the ambition in doing this, and the models of the actors were really impressive. The thing that let it down for me was the motion of the characters felt a little bit unnatural, but for the payoff of having Tarkin and for the payoff of having Princess Leia in the film, for me it is entirely worth it. Also, Rogue One's version of Darth Vader is, for lack of a better term, one of the coolest things I've seen on screen. He is terrifying and brutal. Another thing to consider is Rogue One is filled with fan service, which is great for people like me, but there is a lot of characters and references whose significance will just fly over the head of the average moviegoer, and I don't know how much of a significant impact that will have on people's enjoyment of the film. But I am giving Rogue One a 9, which is a very high HD. Rogue One is the combination of a passionate filmmaker being given the resources he needs to tell the story that he sees in his head, and it is also an example of what a prequel should be. It doesn't retcon or destroy any of the lore, it deepens it. It doesn't change the way you enjoy the original movies, it adds to that and it elevates that. Rogue One deepens the lore of the Star Wars narrative and it adds some really striking and unique visuals thanks to Gareth Edwards and his camera. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Star Wars Rogue One. Agree or disagree, feel free to let me know down below in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz, and until next time, bye.